It's time for another Sportsnet Brightest Stars Showdown. I'm Chris Westcott for Oilers TV. You know the drill. We pit two of the week's biggest plays against each other and let you, the fans, decide on a winner. Last week, Patrick Maroon won in a landslide. And Jay, you are our weekly fan winner. Congrats, Jay. You want to be a winner like Jay? Well, just vote on one of these two highlights. This week, it's Leon Draisaitl in overtime up against Cam Talbot's big save on Sean Monahan. Let's take a look.
To McDavid, one-on-one with Merrill. Draisaitl catching up, 2-on-1. McDavid hangs on. Draisaitl scores! Leon Draisaitl, overtime winner! Draisaitl's 16th goal of the year is the difference as the Oilers sweep New Jersey.
For Calgary, dropped off TJ Brodie, 3-on-1 for the Flames. Brodie dish, one-timer, sprawling glove save made by Talbot. Rebound thrown in front of the Oilers will find it. Sensational stop by Talbot and a standing O here.
Vote for your favorite Brightest Stars moment at edmontonoilers.com/brighteststars or reply directly to the Facebook or Twitter post with your selection, and be sure to tag Sportsnet and the Oilers along with the hashtag Brightest Stars. That gives you a chance to win 2 tickets to Rogers Place when the Oilers host the Ducks on April 1st. The experience includes complimentary food and beverage and a behind-the-scenes tour of Rogers Place. Our weekly winner will be joining all weekly winners in the Sky Lounge at the game on April 1st. Visit edmontonoilers.com/brighteststars for full contest rules and regulations and to cast your vote. It's Sportsnet Brightest Stars Showdown. Will you be the winner?
Rogers Place is not disappointing when it comes to the variety of events being held here. 4 Toronto Blue Jays came to Rogers Place as part of their winter tour. This is just one of 2 stops out west. Many traveled near and far to meet their favorite player and check out our new arena. It was a sea of blue in Fort Hall as the Blue Jays took over Rogers Place.
I've been here since 4. I wanted to be first in line so that we can see the Blue Jays right away.
Oh, it's sort of like a tingly, it's like, you know, you're interacting with these guys that are, you know, to us famous, and you don't get that chance very often, and it's sort of, you know, you're like a little kid again.
It was crazy. It was awesome. Because the Blue Jays are my favorite team and I always wanted to meet them.
For many fans, this was their first time meeting the Blue Jays.
We got to go watch them a while back and now it's just cool to see them in person.
And for these players, this was their first time in Edmonton, and it did not disappoint.
Kind of feels like a little bit like Toronto, a little bit what we're all used to. You know, some taller buildings, people.
That was awesome. There's a casino across the street, so hoping to go there after now. No, this is great. It's just, I guess they're doing really well here, right? For them to put such buildings, it seems like it'd be a lot of fun to play here.
Sportsnet Blue Jays host and big-time Oilers fan Jamie Campbell used to call Edmonton home. He says it's incredible what Ice District has done for the city.
As someone who lived
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is we started well. We capitalized on our chances early and kind of got them behind the 8 ball. So coming off a back-to-back, I think that's huge. And we just kind of rolled from there. LB played really well in net tonight. We gave up a lot still, and he was there to shut the door, so kudos to him.
Historic kind of night. This is a sweep for the Oilers over the Flames. Hasn't happened in the history of these 2 teams. Does that mean something in this week?
Well, I think you look at the standings, and you know, we're both playoff spots are fighting, and you know, it kind of renews the rivalry a bit. You know, these games always have a lot of energy. Fans always get into them, but I think most importantly, they're 4-point games. These are divisional games, and when you can sweep a team that's in your division, you know, it sets you up well.
You mentioned the 4-point games. You had 4 points yourself. Can you talk a little bit about your night and how?
You know, our line played well. I think. You know, you look back and it's funny, some chances go in some nights and some don't, and it was just the case tonight. The puck was going in, so you know, hopefully we can continue to create offense in the games to come.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Jordan.
Swap.
Of course. Yeah, that's the plan, at least. Let me get my shirt on here. Yeah, no, that's the plan. Is you know, last year I had an opportunity and I didn't make it work, and so I put a lot of work in to make sure that this is the last time that I get a call up.
And you know, deadline trade deadline is about a month away, so you want to make sure you get enough games so you can show them what you
Exactly. Yeah. No, and I'm going to be patient. I'm not trying to, win a starting spot this year. I know my role, and I'm just going to work hard in practices and just be ready for opportunities like this to play.
How difficult is it, though, another guy is going to be playing 90% of the games because he's playing good and you're the backup?
Yeah, it was an adjustment, but I'm getting used to it. I got a solid practice routine and game routine that I'm happy with, so it's I'm feeling good and just like I said, just gonna be ready for starts.
How does it feel to get? Sorry if this was asked already, but to get your first win?
It's a big, it's a great feeling, especially with how last year went down with my call-up. It's nice to contribute in a positive way.
Mean anything more because it's against the Flames?
To be honest, I wasn't thinking too much like that. I was just looking at that little puck, and that's the only thing I was against.
That's a good early run.
I'm not too sure. We were just ready to go. I mean, you're always excited when you're in Calgary's building. The crowd was pretty into it, which is always good, and our fans came out and were loud.
You gave your goalie Laurent a lot of run support early. I mean, trying to get his win. You're up 3 after 6 minutes, and then up.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough being a young goalie and making his first start of the year, and you want to make him feel as comfortable as you can, and I think we did that early, and but he still made some great saves. Especially early in the first and late in the third, he made some huge saves.
I guess his figure it out. His last game was a tight, going to a shootout game, and yet the first couple of games of the year were high scoring, and tonight you were back to high scoring again.
Yeah, it's a weird game. I think that was a little bit more open than they would have liked to play, but when you get down 3 early, that's how you kind of have to go. I mean, we found a way to score a few early, and I think that kind of made them and forced them to open up early. And yeah.
What about Kachuk? What do you have to say about him?
he plays a hard game, and you know, that's definitely good. I just didn't like the hit on me, and that was all. And nobody plays a hard game, and he's having a great year, and he's doing a lot of good things out there. So. Yeah.
Your team has crossed a lot of thresholds this year, some good things. Tonight, first time in history that you've swept Calgary Flames in a season series. Does that matter to a group like your team?
For sure. You know, they're our rival, and you know, it's definitely good and they're fighting for a playoff spot as well. And then that puts them 8 points back, or 7. I think they got 1, so puts them 7 points back. Those are points they can't get back. So they're definitely good to sweep them. And
And you're trying to finish first in the division because Anaheim lost tonight, so you're only 1 point back now. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long year. There's a lot of things left to go on, and we're excited that we were able to beat Calgary 4 times, and you know, that's all we're focusing on. You know, we have some big divisional games coming up this week, and
Coach, just things seemed to go your way early on, and then you were able to go to the finish with the win.
Yeah, you pretty much summed it all up. I probably don't have to answer the question. It went our way early. We got out of the gate like we wanted to, and and then we were able to match when they scored. We came right back and scored to maintain some goal momentum. I'm not sure we maintained momentum in the game, but as the night went on, it kind of deteriorated from our end of it as well, and gave up a little too much. But we'll take the points and we'll go home and get some rest.
What's it going to mean to the team, Coach, that you got the effort you got from your backup goalie tonight?
Well, it means a lot. first of all, that whole group in there is really happy for him. He's been through a lot in our organization. He's played some tremendous games and hasn't been able to put a win up on the board. So we're all really, really happy for him, and I'm sure this will do wonders for his confidence as he moves forward.
What does it mean to take a possible 8 out of a possible 8 points against your provincial rival?
Well, anytime you can, just an individual game, the 2 points, when you play your closest rival and you win, you feel a little bit better about it. The season series was one that went our way, and we're happy for it. But we've still got a lot of work to do, and they're a very good hockey club over there. They'll still be on our tail, but we get a little bit of breathing room because of that series. They were very good. They played well all over the rink, both power play, penalty kill situations, and able to produce some points. So that's nice to see all 3 of them get on the scoreboard because they've been snake bit a little bit.
Todd, we've talked about snapping streaks and beating teams for the first time in however many years. Doesn't always matter, but does it mean anything to beat Calgary or sweep them for the first time in franchise history to you as a coach or to the players?
History. The history that's important right now is this year's history. Obviously, we respect what both teams and all the players have done that have come through in the past, and they've had some tremendous battles, and it's fallen off a little bit over the past few years. But the history that we're concerned about is what we're living right now this season. And as I mentioned earlier, it's nice to get the points and to create a little bit of a gap between the 2 teams. We know they're a real good club, and they're going to win their share down the stretch, but it is nice to get the 8 points.
Thanks, Coach.
Some believe a city can define a person and vice versa. For athletes, their successes and failures represent a city like the buildings and backgrounds that surround them.
There we go.
For Milan Lucic and his home city of Vancouver, the connection is equal parts triumphant and uncomfortable. But it's where he's from and where he discovered his love for the game of hockey.
First memory of hockey was playing with my older brother. We started playing hockey in Vancouver out in the Agrodome for, at the time, was called Hastings Minor Hockey, and it was always a thrill for us, especially because I remember as kids, we got to watch our uncle play a little bit in the WHL when we were really, really young, and then he actually started off with the Vancouver Canucks in, I think, the 93-94 season. So for us to be able to do that and have that was pretty cool, and I would say that's my first hockey memory as a child.
Today, the entire NHL knows when the Oilers' number 27 is on the ice.
High slot shot, Sekera tipped home in front. The hulking Milan Lucic. David driving in, left circle, back door. Rich shot, score, Milan Lucic. This could be a real good fight. Lucic took exception and lands a big right hand on Derek Englund. He's going to hear it from the crowd of 18,347 as he heads to the dressing room.
His style of play developed at a very young age.
I would say I was as aggressive, yes. I think the aggression is something that I've always had in me, and the compete level is something that I've had in me since I was a little kid. That's what made me a good athlete.
In 2005, Lucic earned his spot on the Vancouver Giants and got to live out a dream few players get to experience, playing junior hockey in their hometown.
I just remember we went, I was playing Junior B at the time and for the Delta Ice Hawks, and we played a game against the Grandview Steelers, and I think I know Kyle Turris was on that team, and they were at that game watching Kyle Turris. This is the story that I was told. And I had a good game. I think I had a goal and assist and was first star of the game. And next day I got a phone call and said I was listed by the Vancouver Giants. Because my uncle played in the WHL, that was something that I wanted to do as well. And when I had that opportunity to do it with my hometown team, it was definitely an opportunity that I couldn't pass up.
The following year, with the NHL draft taking place in Vancouver, Milan was once again poised to celebrate in his hometown.
Boston kind of went out on a limb with taking me at 50th overall, and I think I was ranked like 90th or to go late in the third round, and they kind of jumped off the board a bit and took a big chance on me and taking me that early in the draft. And I actually thought I was going to get drafted by the LA Kings. They had the 48th pick. Once they picked someone else, I kind of didn't pay attention to the 49th and 50th pick. So to be perfectly honest, I didn't even hear my name get called. And it was actually my mom and my dad and my grandparents beside me that heard my name get called. And actually the fans that were there started cheering too. And I was wondering what they were cheering about. And it was the fact that I got drafted to the Boston Bruins.
In his final year in the WHL, Lucic proved why the Boston Bruins were right in selecting him early in the draft. Leading the Giants to a Memorial Cup, he was named tournament MVP.
We definitely didn't want to go home empty-handed, and getting a chance to do that in front of our fans in our city, in the Pacific Coliseum, which was rocking on that Sunday afternoon with 16,000 people. It was definitely one of the greatest experiences of my hockey career, and for me, being a hometown boy, getting to do that in my hometown.
I was calling the championship game between Medicine Hat and Vancouver, the Memorial Cup final in 2007, and I think the most vivid thing for me was the fact that the place was bananas. It was absolutely bananas, and then, as they now call it and did very shortly after, the chef.
Enough credit went that way for the job Willie Desjardins did. Huge hit involving Matt Lowry and Milan Lucic. Lucic, the big forward.
And the funny thing is, when I think about it, and even when I look back at it, most people know me not being lost for words very often, but Milan was just like a human wrecking ball to the point where I remember when he clobbered Trevor Glass in the corner with the third hit and then got in the fight with Benfeld. It was like I couldn't even really say anything for about the last 11 seconds of the play.
There's guys that I've gone to summer skates with that still kind of bring it up and kind of laugh about it. And to be honest, the one thing, it's just something that happened. It was just, I came on the ice, a hit was there and I made it. Another hit was there, I made it, and then we had a scoring chance, we didn't score, but the puck ended up in the corner and I had another hit, and then it turned into a fight, and the fans were rowdy, and we were definitely a little bit nervous about it, and I think it kind of calmed myself and everyone down, and ended up being a big part of the game. I started my hockey career as a 3.5, 4-year-old at the Agridome right next door to the Pacific Coliseum, and getting to fulfill my dream of winning a championship like that. I'm so lucky and fortunate that I got to do that in front of my hometown friends and family.
Dominating in the Memorial Cup finals was one thing, but cracking a deep Boston Bruins lineup in his first NHL camp was another.
My first impression, he was actually right beside me one of the very first days of camp, and he's just, the big frame, and the thing that got him into the NHL was his attitude. He was the happiest person to be anywhere near an NHL jersey, and you could just see it. He was just beaming, and I think he did what a lot of guys forget to do, is just totally embrace the opportunity that you have to make an impression, right? I think so many guys, for whatever reason, come in kind of timid, and he was the exact opposite. He came out like a bull in a china shop, made a bunch of noise, fought, hit, and just made the most of, what slim chance you get, to make this league.
I think the most intimidating part is you go from, junior guys who are kind of boys and to men, especially walking into a dressing room with Zdeno Chara. I mean, who's 6'9", 255 pounds, and he's about 3.5%, 4% body fat, and you're like, oh my God, these are players that I'm gonna have to play against. But thankfully, we were on the same side for 8 years.
In 2011, Lucic would once again be tied to the city he grew up in, but this time as the enemy.
For as long as you can remember, your goal was to win the Stanley Cup, and I think for me it was extra special to be able to to achieve that in my hometown and have, again, my friends and family there to celebrate with me, and being able to bring a cup back to an original 6 team. And the last guy to bring it back to Boston was Bobby Orr, the greatest player to play before Wayne Gretzky, and getting to achieve that dream in Vancouver was such a great moment, and I enjoyed every single second of it.
Looking back, Lucic remembers sharing the moment with his dad, who passed away only 4 years later.
He was a huge fan of mine, and he was a huge fan of hockey and watching hockey. Just like the whole household, we were Canucks fans before I started playing for the Bruins. But I definitely, if you ask me now, he was probably a bigger Bruin fan than anything else, and it was great to share all those great moments with him.
Signing with the Oilers in the summer of 2016, the connection was with Peter Chiarelli. The same GM who gave that 19-year-old a chance in Boston was now bringing an experienced 28-year-old to Edmonton to be a leader.
I think it's been really good because we've had a lot of success since I've played for Peter. Obviously, he gave me a chance and took a chance by drafting me early in 2006 and took a chance on me by keeping me around as a 19-year-old and giving me that chance to excel and be a big part of his teams in Boston and now here in Edmonton. So obviously our relationship's been a good one, and we've already talked about it. The ultimate goal is achieving what we achieved in Boston, and we both believe that we can do that.